Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and these are my 10 favorite movie moments of 2019. As we continue to celebrate all things film for the year 2019, another annual list that I like to highlight here on my channel are the moments within films that stood out and meant something special to me personally. Whether they were funny and just made me laugh, whether they got to me, pierced my heart, or just made me happy and cheer. These were the moments that stuck out. Now, some of these are just singular scenes. Others are larger but cohesive segments that kind of count as a moment. Now, as usual, this is just my own personal list. These are the moments that affected me. I'm sure your list will be much different, and I cannot wait to see which moments everyone else chooses. Also, this list is not necessarily a reflection on the larger films that are included here. So just because I loved a moment within a film doesn't mean that the film itself is going to show up on my top 10 list per se. Also, I had to have seen the films in order to include them here on the list. So while I did see a lot of movies in 2019, there are certainly films that slipped through the cracks. If I didn't see it, obviously I can't put it here. Also, spoilers ahead. Obviously, I will be discussing specific scenes and impactful moments, some of which may even be the ending to films. So just be warned, spoilers lie everywhere. So let's go ahead, cut the chit chat, and jump into the countdown. Kicking us off, at number 10, I have Ford Goes for a Ride from Ford v Ferrari. Yes, these are my own made-up names as best as I can have them. This is the moment in which Matt Damon's Shelby takes Mr. Ford, Henry Ford II, on a ride, takes him full blast in the car, makes him dang near pee himself, all to make a point and to cut a deal. Now, there are plenty of amazing sequences throughout Ford v Ferrari, but this is the one that kind of just stands out on its own because it gives you everything you need from this scene. Not only is it really funny, it gives you that adrenaline rush, that racing moment, and it gives us that payoff. One with Henry Ford in his most human moment of the entire film, but also gives us that cheer-worthy payoff of cutting a deal, getting our heroes here in on the cut, and another shot at their dream. Plus, obviously, Ken Miles is really the underdog in this corporate battle going on, and this opens the door for him as well. So it was a great strategy. The whole sequence is a lot of fun, from trapping BB in the office all the way through to a blubbering Ford. It all worked. At number 9, I have Show Yourself from Frozen 2. A big reason this song resonated so much with me, and I'm sure with so many others, is the actual sequence of the film was a highlight. This was the emotional centerpiece for all of Frozen 2 for me personally. One, Elsa reaches her goal. She gets to the place she's been fighting and pushing onward toward the entire film. But furthermore, we find out it's her mother who has been calling her this entire film to this location to find out the truth. But ultimately, it's herself. She is the power she's been searching for. She is the answer to everything that she has been searching for. And that is such a big, beautiful moment. At number 8, I have the moment of silence from A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Now, this does kind of reminisce and harken back a little bit to the ending of Won't You Be My Neighbor, the Mr. Rogers documentary from 2018. But I think this also stands up in its own right. As we're working through and Mr. Rogers is really interacting with this cynical journalist, having this moment of silence for the characters in the film is obviously a big moment, but then for you as an audience member is a big, impactful moment. It's really a section of the film that just highlights, one, how amazing Tom Hanks's performance as Mr. Rogers is, how he invokes that power and kindness, but again, it brings the audience into the film and helps to complete the overall mission of creating that essence of Mr. Rogers. At number 7, I have the ending of Portrait of a Lady on Fire. What an emotional gut punch, huh? I mean, this ending really delivered the feels for you in every which way possible. The only reason this ending isn't higher up on the list is because in many ways it did remind me of the ending to Call Me By Your Name. And I do think the ending to Call Me By Your Name is a bit more effective overall. However, the acting, emotional resonance in this one final shot is absolutely stunning. The consequence of the setting and what's happening for particularly one of our characters is really just heartbreaking. Having something so close but completely out of touch is really the main takeaway here, and it's a really heartbreaking but emotionally impactful takeaway and moment. A stunning film comes to an absolutely stunning conclusion with this tearjerker of an ending. At number 6, I have the Rocket Man sequence from Rocket Man. There are so many great standout musical numbers throughout Rocket Man. However, it is the title sequence that ended up on this list because I think it gets everything right about a musical number. First of all, the innovation. Starting it underwater, him singing to himself is really an impactful, emotional moment, and having the callback to what we saw earlier in the film works really well. But then the choreography underwater with everybody else jumping in is really wonderful. And then it kicks up to an entirely new level with the just physical choreography of Elton John getting onto the stretcher, being moved into the ambulance, out of the ambulance, having people literally just throw the clothes on him. The actual choreography in motion is beautiful, but also the symbolism behind somebody who literally just tried to commit suicide being dressed by other people and shoved onto the stage really strikes to the core of Elton John's story and the story of so many of these rock stars and celebrities. So it completely enveloped Elton John's story in one single moment of the movie. Music, glamour, but the drug abuse and the heartache underneath of it all, and the puppetry that is being a celebrity, and oftentimes it was amazing. It was expertly executed and served as the standout in a pretty standout film. At number 5, I have the backyard birthday party in Parasite. Yes, that moment. The moment everything just comes to head in this wonderful film. This is just the latest twist in a film that had already twisted and turned to this point. Here, all of that tension we've been building throughout the movie comes to a head. The disparity between the rich and the poor comes to a head in an explosive confrontation. And the end result is pretty unexpected across the board. Yeah, it's violent, but it represents so much more than that it really encapsulated the entire film. Again, another film that there are so many amazing moments in, but this is the scene that defined Parasite for me. Coming in at number 4, I have The Big Smoke from 1917. So Sam Mendes crafted a continuous shot style of film with 1917, making one scene to the next really flow together beautifully. However, the Big Smoke scene is instantly recognizable once you've seen the film. First of all, this is the standout piece on the original score to me. It just gets into this big, moving, sweeping, epic soundtrack that completely took my breath away. Second of all, the cinematography does this big smoke change right before our eyes in this beautiful way. And this crane shot out of a window down onto the ground is stunning. Again, the action that we have been kind of building up to up until this point takes a head, and we go into this really tense, this really hold your breath segment of the film that takes on a completely new look, that takes on a completely new set of tension and delivers with this bombastic score. It was stunning. It was one of the most breathtaking moments in film for me for the year of 2019. At number 3, I have Pas de Deux, or the dance sequence from Us. Now this is it. This is when our main character and her doppelganger, Red, go at it. The confrontation down in the land of the tethered. I was shook, y'all, in that movie theater the first time I watched this movie and we got to this point. This is masterclass editing. First, all of this is set to an amazing score. Then, we're juxtaposing a literal fight to the death with this beautiful stage ballet. And not only does it weave together for storytelling purposes, but it weaves together in a great commentary. Then, just on a primal level, the fight itself is exhilarating. This is the moment we've been building up to the entire film, and then that choreography is absolutely stunning. It's a fight, it's a murder sequence, it's a whatever you want to call it, unlike anything I have ever seen in film before. And while it's tense and guttural, it is simply beautiful. It is a work of art. It is a vision all in and of itself. Lupita Nyong'o's acting is wonderful and her physical performance is stunning. So coming in at number 2, the runner-up position, I have Saying Goodbye in How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. So yes, this is that moment that Hiccup makes the decision that we have to separate the dragons and the humans. And this is like the most heartbreaking moment of film 2019. This was the most emotional I got in a movie all year long. This is a 3-film saga, a 3-film, 9-year friendship that we have all been a part of, coming to a really poetic and appropriate close. And I don't think they could have done it any better. Again, that score sets the mood, it delivers the atmosphere. The vocal acting is beautiful from Jay Baccarel, and then the animation delivers exactly what we need. They let it play out at a beautiful pace, and getting and then saying goodbye to Toothless is like the hardest thing ever. But also seeing all of the rest of the village saying goodbye to the dragons that they've helped raise and have loved is really heartbreaking, but you know that it's the right thing to do, and it puts you in that position, right, with our characters. So I think the script does a wonderful job of earning this moment on every single level, and it got me. It got that lump in my throat. Didn't quite get the tear, but I'm heartless, so what can I say? But it's certainly the most emotional moment for me in 2019, and maybe not favorite moment because it made me cry inside, but certainly one of the most impactful moments of film from the last year. So before I unveil my number 1 pick, let's go over a few honorable mentions. The ending to Midsummer was just this cathartically effed up moment that has stood out to me ever since I first saw it. The dog fight featuring Sophia in John Wick Chapter 3 was a highlight in a film full of action set pieces that stand above the rest. Halle Berry and her dogs stole the show. The ending to Knives Out was just a wonderful callback and a hilarious, fitting conclusion to a really fun film. The graveyard sequence in The Farewell served as a quick crash course in Asian culture and how they respect those who have passed on. But more importantly, it served as an endearing way to develop these characters and bring us into their family. And it was flippin' hilarious. I loved every second of it. And finally, the Gimme More segment of Hustlers really just defined the film. It was set to an awesome track by my queen, Britney Spears. But it took us through everything we needed to know about the people, about the film, about the setting, and completely delivered on everything you wanted heading into the movie Hustlers. So finally, my number 1 pick. My favorite movie moment is the portals opening in Avengers Endgame. Could there be anything else? Honestly, this has to rank in my top 10 favorite moments in film ever. If your theater didn't cheer when this moment happened, you must have been watching in a graveyard, because you'd have to be dead not to be absolutely pumped. When you hear that signal come through to Captain America, then you hear on your left, turn, and those portals start opening. Alan Silvestri's score is just blaring to epic proportions. The visuals are beautiful. Those portals look amazing. And step by step, we see all of our heroes emerging in this mighty, triumphant moment of epic cinema. Just when our heroes are down and out, the good old gang comes through. And we find out, in fact, we had succeeded in reversing the snap. This moment defined Avengers Endgame. It has pretty much defined the MCU up to this point, and as I said, serves as one of the most memorable, amazing moments I have ever had in a movie theater. I didn't know that they could ever top Thor's entrance into Wakanda from Infinity War, and they proved me wrong and blew everything else out of the water with Endgame. So there could be no other choice than that portal sequence from Endgame. So that's it. Those are my picks for my personal favorite moments in film from 2019. What do you think of the sequences I chose? And more importantly, I want to hear which moments stood out to you. Let me know your favorite movie moment in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. And if you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!